Alright, hello and welcome to my 12th episode of my Retro City Rampage Clone in Unity tutorial. Today we're just going to be covering like NPCs interacting with cars, because we did players last time. And yeah, just before we get into it, these are all the components that you need on the car for both the player and the NPC to interact with, just so there's a reference there so you can go back and add them if you're following along. There's the train. So yeah, let's give a quick demonstration of what happens. So we've got an NPC. He's pursuing us, as you can see. Just keeps following, following. And if we go into the car, he will then go to the other car and try and get in it and follow us. And you can see he'll ram us if we're near enough to him. I know there's a couple of issues with colliders because of how the different sprites work, so I'm going to have to address that at some point, but not now. And yeah, it might need some tweaking, but it works. And if we get out, he'll still follow us. Well, he'll get out of the car, actually. Shit. Okay, I'll just try to demonstrate that again. But yeah, so if we're in the car, he's in the car, he gets near us, and I think we can carjack him, and he'll get into the other car and try and pursue us. And if he's near enough, and he can also get out of the car, and he'll start pursuing us on foot if we leave and he's close enough. And we still do the whole rap, killing him and stuff. And yeah, so I'm just going to show you how we do all that. So first things first, just a quick thing. We have a car manager, which basically has an array of the cars, which are just game objects that are found with the tag car. And a car manager, just a reference to it, so it's easy to access. We don't have to find the game object of type or whatever. And basically, it's not going to be like this forever because it's pretty inefficient to just search for all the cars every frame. So we'll have when we get to spawning, we'll probably rewrite this code to make it better. Whatever, it'll do for now because we've only got 2 cars. But yeah. So we've also got a method that returns a game object. Well, maybe a function technically, but whatever. Basically, find nearest car. So this is used by the NPCs in NPC AI, which I'll show you in a minute, to find the nearest unoccupied car. So we've got the distance for that measure, which is just 9999, so it's pretty much guaranteed to be lower, and the return value. And what it does, it goes through each of the cars in car objects in the car. It goes through each of the game objects in the car array, and it'll work out if the distance is less than the nearest distance, and the player isn't in the car, and there's not an NPC already wanting to go to that car, which are they're defined by the 3 parts of the if statement. Oh, and if there's not an NPC already in the car as well. So if there's not an NPC going to the car or one already in the car, then it will set that car to the distance to nearest car. It'll basically just set the nearest distance to the distance between that the game object that called it, which they just call it with the position of the NPC that's wanted to find the car, and it sets a ret val to the car. And basically, if it can't find a car, it'll just return nothing. Basically, so it doesn't go to a car. One change I made to the NPC AI, just to like demonstrate how the NPCs interact with the car, is adding if the player is in the car, it calls this should we go into a car method, which basically checks if we can find a car from the car manager.find nearest car with this position, then it will set a path to the car that it wants to go into, if there is a car, and it will set the car, set to the car's enter car script that there's an NPC wanting to enter it. So if another NPC was to call the find nearest car, it wouldn't be able to select that car that had just been selected by the NPC here. And then it just displays a message saying we found a car. Now, we've also added a fair bit to the enter car script. A couple of new booleans. So is there an NPC already in this car? And is there an NPC going to this car, trying to get into it? and basically, if there is so if there's an NPC wanting to get into this car, then it'll call this method that is the NPC near the car, which is basically just a check. So if the NPC wanting to get into the car, which is set here, so it sets, there's a game object stored as well here of the NPC that wants to get in the car, so we know where it is. So if the distance between the NPC wanting to get in and this car is less than 2, then it will basically, it does a similar thing to when the player gets in the car, where it'll set the parent to the car game object, it'll set is NPC in this car to true, it'll enable the car AI, and if alerted, and it sets the alerted status of the car AI to so it sets the NPC car AI it sets the alerted value of the NPC's car AI script to the same one as the alerted to player script. So if the NPC getting in the car is pursuing the player, then the car will continue to pursue the player, and it enables the 2D pathfinder and whatnot, and disables the NPC's components. So we got like person movement, the AI, health, box collider, sprite renderer, weapon controller, and the pathfinder that's on the NPC object, but not the one on the car object. And we've got another method and we've got like an inverse of that, which enables it again and sets the pathfinding target. So it's either the player or finding a random point to move to. I think that's it. We also added. We've also got a similar, like, basically something to keep the NPC's position the same as the car's position when the NPC is driving about. And one last thing is NPCs and car, but sorry. And we've also got basically this is the bit which allows the player to carjack NPCs. So we also use it to get NPCs out of the car. So basically, it's just like an exit car script. So it'll stop the NPC being attached to the car, and it'll set that value to false. So it'll stop the NPCs wanting. It'll allow other NPCs to get into that car again. It'll enable the NPC's components, so like it can pathfind and move again, and it'll disable the AI components of the car, and then just sets there's no NPC wanting to get in. NPC, I think I missed one actually. NPC go into this car equals false. Yeah, because there's no NPC. That's pretty much it for the empty car scripts. Now, basically, the NPC car AI isn't particularly different. It's just using the car visual. It's like the NPC AI, where it'll just either follow the player, or like choose to go to between like random points in the level. And so yeah, we've got the stop near player, and if the player's not in the car, it'll kick the player out. That's one of the differences. And the other difference between that and the AI is that it'll try and ram the player. So basically, it'll count down if trying to ram is false, which is basically like, can the car ram, just for like balancing. So it's like every 7.5 seconds it'll reset. So this just counts down, and if it reaches 0, it sets true and resets the timer. And if you can ram, basically it just and the car is near to the player, then it'll just like set the speed of the pathfinding to 16, so it can ram the car basically. That's pretty much it as far as I know. I'll just give you a quick run over just in case you want to copy it. It's basically the same as the NPC AI, but it just references the car visuals instead of the player person movement script. That's all. So yeah, you can just read that. Yeah, we've got the enter car scripts, which these are the main bits that I've added. So set NPC wanting to enter, is the NPC near the car, NPC in car, disable and enable the components, and kick NPC out of car. and we've also got the bit to kick NPCs out, or card track NPCs, and the updated update function, and new booleans and game objects stored. What else? There's the car manager, pretty simple, and the change to the AI, so that just gets it into a car. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I don't think I've changed the car visuals or anything. No. I've not got gears on the NPC car AI, just because one thing I'm probably going to have to revisit it, because, well, if I'm going to implement like open worlds like traffic and whatnot, and it'll probably change like how it decides where to go. So yeah, I probably will change it at some point in the future, but for now, this just has the sort of fundamentals of NPCs getting in cars and driving about done. So yeah, cheers for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Go play Loud or Quiet and buy my Hotline Miami assets on itch.io. The link will be in the description. And yeah, bye.